Hey guys, Mitch here. I'm just gonna go through how to tune up a lawnmower. This one I bought from Home Depot probably 3 years ago in 2017. This was one of the Toro models that they were selling. As you can see, it's 163cc. The model number on this one is gonna be 20339. I'm not quite sure why it doesn't align with this number that they put on the front decal, but it also goes under the recycler 22-inch with SmartStow. They show that same 130-2398 number here. Then up there they're showing 133-8105. If you want to see the engine specific information, it's right there. It's 104MO2013-1F1. And this one's rated for 125 hours of emission compliance. This machine right now, I mow 30 hours a year, so it's getting towards the end of the life. This is probably the last season that it's compliant for. Here's the documentation. If you need to download it from online, this could be helpful for you to look up these form numbers on Toro's site. And then here's the engine manual as well. As far as the tune-up goes, I just bought this off Amazon. It's $32, and it includes an air filter, a new blade, and oil and a spark plug. The spark plug I had a lot of problems trying to find information on. I see that they've changed the spark plug, and the last digit on the number here, I've seen both S and T. I'm going to look a little bit more and try to understand what those differences are. But for now, we'll just start with this one. So this flap, mine's been falling off, and I found out that there's actually this piece here that's holding the flap in place. It has two little fingers on it. You can see that one's broken, and then that one's back there. And they go into these holes on the discharge chute. So if you ever need to replace this part, the part number is going to be 115-8449. That's this piece right here. Alright guys, so I want to change the blade, but actually it makes a lot more sense to first change the oil, because when I change the blade, I'm going to tip the mower on its side and all the oil is going to spill out anyways. So next step is actually going to be an oil change. To do that, I'm going to start by just taking this off and tipping the mower on its side. So I've got the mower tipped on its side. You can see the oil is leaking out slowly but surely. And now I'm going to leave the engine with no oil while I change the blade. And then after the blade's complete or replaced, then I'll refill the oil. So the oil is just draining out of the engine right now into my drip container, and I have a big breaker bar and a brick. You can also use a wood block. I'm just going to loosen this nut that's holding the blade in place. Alright, now I will remove the blade. I'm going to put the blade back on, but before I do that, I'm just going to clean off this area a little bit, make sure that there's no big pieces of rust or debris or dirt. You can see there's some trash that was on the blade, and so what I don't want is to have this new blade rest on something and not sit straight, or be bolted on at an angle, because that surface isn't flat. So now I put the brick on the other side, or the wooden block, and I tighten. I'm going to tighten in a clockwise direction, and I'm going to go to 60 foot-pound, which is 82 Newton meters. In the manual, it makes out a point to say that it's really difficult to over tighten this, so don't worry about going a little bit over. The bigger concern is not having it be tight enough. So you can see I got the oil here. It's just SA30. The Toro bottle looks like it's 38916, and it's about a half liter, which is very close to the capacity of this machine. I think it's around 480 milliliters, so just under a half liter. So I'm going to put about 3/4 of this in, and then I'm going to check with the dipstick and make sure that I haven't overfilled it. Also, after I start it up, I'll check it again after that point. Just make sure once the oil's reached all the engine, that it's at the right level still. Alright, so I just pulled it a few times and this little engine, it tried to start itself up actually. It really wants to run. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's actually 2 holes and the oil level right now is right in between the 2 of them. So it should be good. I put probably 85% of this bottle in. To change the air filter, I'm gonna come in here. I just take a big screwdriver and pop this open. And now you can see really how neglectful I've been with this mower. It should have been changed a long time ago. That's completely plugged up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's not what you want. Looks like it's still pretty clean inside. I'm actually just gonna wipe that with a cloth. So here you can see I put the new filter in. I cleaned underneath it before I installed it. The part number on this filter is 593260. It's a Briggs and Stratton number. A lot of times the kits on eBay are associated with which filter size you have. So now that that's back on, just put this cover. I'm just gonna snap it into place. It should be good. Now the filter's done and all that's left is the spark plug. So the last step is going to be changing the spark plug. So I already loosened this one. Mine looks a little different. You see these wraps on the end of the spark plug boot. This is just for my hour meter. It picks up there. And so here's the plug that came from the factory. It looks like it is an Autolite 5924. And then it says 6G. My replacement one from what I found online was a 491055, and then I saw actually S was the recommended one. But there was some forums that were saying that maybe the T and the S are the same. I've already compared these 2 plugs and I don't see a significant difference, so I'm going to just go ahead and use this one. Let's see if you guys can see in there. Also, it's a 5/8 size socket that you need to remove this. So I got here the engine manual. That is the engine that I have. It says which spark plug, and then I've written in which is the replacement down here. Then they also talk about the torque for the spark plug. It looks like it's 20 Newton meters. So make sure to use a torque wrench and get it torqued down.